Hi, welcome to Drive Like Shana's YouTube channel. And I'm Shana, duh. And I'm at the Buddh International Circuit. What we're going to do, we're going to have a look at the part 2 series of the part 1. And if you haven't had a watch that, click here, because this video is going to make absolutely no sense to you if you haven't. Nevertheless, what we'll do now is get into all we did for the prep and how it's actually going to play out. So we're going to have a look at all the tires, all the brakes, the suspension, the setup, if any bolts have come loose, all of this stuff we're going to have a look at now. I have actually had a couple of laps out on the track and I'm in here now, going to have a look at the car. So come, let's check it out with me. First things first, tires, most important part of the car, because that's what's keeping you connected to the road, right? So what I normally like to do, get out for a couple of laps, warm the tires up because they're usually cold, and they stick a lot better when they're much warmer. There's another thing that's really important with tires, is to make sure your alignment is spot on, because if you have your alignment spot on, then your tire wears out evenly and it's not wearing with bumps and rumps on the tread of the tire. 1 and 2, you can also have really good handling if you have good alignment on the car. That basically includes your camber setting, and your toe setting is what's most important. Now with tires, you have all sorts of different compounds. Basically that means having harder tires and softer tires. Now for track days, we like to use softer compounds. That means the tire is really soft. So when it warms up, it's nice and sticky as well. And then you kind of have, honestly, you kind of have these rubbery things kind of flying out of your tires. And that's a good thing. That means your tire is actually doing what it's meant to be doing, is sticking to the road. Moving on from the tires is the tire pressure. I always prefer to run lower tire pressures before the start of the track day. So when it warms up, it's at the appropriate temperature. Now that again is dependent on the car and the compound you're running, because everything varies. There's no hard and soft rule of what's what. I normally run about 28 front and probably 30 on the rear when it's cold. So when it warms up, it's about 32, 33 in the front and the rear. So I don't really want to go more than that. But then again, depending on what car you have, you kind of just need to play with it. Try a couple of degrees here and there off and see what happens. If you're like me and actually like to measure your lap times, I like to do that, although this is not a competitive event and it's a private track day for most of us. Some tracks allow you to time your drive and some tracks don't allow you to time it. What I normally do is carry my own equipment. Apart from that, you can also hire something known as a transponder at most racetracks for a minimal fee. They stick that little thing to the front of your car and you're good to go. So you'll have your lap time recorded on their computers and probably get a printout at the end of the day. And if you think that's not good enough for you and you want to go a bit better, I get myself a race computer. Now what that allows me to do is see how I'm doing lap after lap. And that kind of overlays all the outlines I've taken on an actual map. So when you look at it on a computer, you can actually see very specifically where you've been braking, where you've been turning in, where you've been turning out, where you've been accelerating, or if you've gone into a wall. It kind of gets all of it together. And I think it's really handy. So I would probably ask you to get yourself one of those if you're one of those kind of people that's very competitive in a non-competitive event. But at the end of the day, what I like to say is don't chase the times. Get out there, have a good time, smile, laugh, have a ball in the car, because only then your lap starts time to come up without even you knowing it. And that's how I like to do it. So you're at the track, you're excited, your mates are excited, we're all excited. It's a really exciting place to be. But before you get out there and actually take your car and hammer it out, I would really suggest you to calm down, right? It's really important to do what I call a sighting lap or a warm-up lap. Now this is really before you actually get out there. What you need to do is just kind of take it easy, maybe a couple laps, 4 laps, 5 laps. Take it slow, you know, kind of feel the car, see if anything's coming off or not, see if you have any sounds coming on the car, and at the same time, kind of most importantly, check the actual track conditions. Now there are times if you're early in the morning at the track might be moist and it be wet, so your car can be actually quite slippy and you kind of won't get the right temperatures for those tires to pick up. So at the end of the day, what you need to do is actually go there, warm up your tires, warm up your brakes, check for markers, check for tire marks, kind of see what other people have done on the track, kind of gauge your braking points, acceleration points, all of that, maybe a couple of laps. Dude, take your time, there is no rush. Once you come back in and you're more set to do this, then you can get out there and actually hammer the car. Apart from your car being looked after, you need to be looked after as well. It's really important to stay hydrated at track days. Now I'll tell you what though, at most tracks in India or most places in the world, it gets really hot, and if you're driving cars like this, lap after lap after lap, you get quite sweaty, and when you get really sweaty, you get really dehydrated. Always make sure you carry some candy bars or some chips or some bread, whatever, some sandwiches maybe, so you kind of don't go out of hunger, A, and B, to also make sure that you kind of drink enough water. Carry some Gatorade if you need to. So what I'd like to do is always make sure and stay hydrated with my bottle of water. Few essentials: eat light, stay hydrated, and don't forget the stuff that you've come with. Make sure you pack it and take it back with you. And most important, and for everyone else's safety, please be sober at the racetrack. And at the end of the day, if you like this video, hit like and smash the subscribe button, and I shall see you guys soon.